Hey guys, it's Aiden with James Toyota, and today I'm going to be comparing two very popular SUVs. Next to me is a 2024 RAV4 versus the 2024 Nissan Rogue. We're going to see what's different, what's similar. Let's take a closer look. All right, so let's talk powertrains. We're gonna start with the 2024 Nissan Rogue. Now, under the hood, a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder paired with a turbo. It's gonna be making about 203 horsepower versus the 2024 RAV4. This is gonna be a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder making 201 horsepower. Now, with the turbo in the Rogue versus a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder in a RAV, fuel efficiency is better in a Rogue. You'll be 7.6 liters per 100 combined versus 8 liters per 100 in the RAV4. Okay, so looking at both of the vehicles from the front end, they both look very similar. Same size, same height, same features on the front, and they are very similar. Both are gonna come with LED front headlights, which is very nice, and turn signals. Now, stepping onto the sides of the vehicle, you're gonna be seeing one major difference, and I'm gonna be in favor of Nissan on this one, is that on the Nissan Rogue, you're gonna be getting 18-inch. They actually do look like a pretty nice rim as well. It's an 18-inch alloy rim, which is kind of like a silver exterior of it with a kind of a gunmetal gray in the center versus on the RAV, which is gonna be a 17-inch fully silver alloy. Now, obviously package-wise, these will change vehicle to vehicle, but comparing the SV all-wheel drive versus the XLE A package all-wheel drive, these are the two options that you get. Now, stepping onto the sides of the vehicle though, you will notice that both come in around the same height. So again, I'm 6'2", both of them are very good height-wise compared to myself sitting inside, which we will do in a few moments. You will also notice that space-wise on the inside is very similar. So if you have a family, preferably a smaller family, if you're gonna have like a 7 or an 8-person family, you're gonna want something larger like a Highlander, Grand Highlander, a Sienna. There's other videos on the channel which you guys can check out if you would like. But for someone looking for someone who just needs a 5-passenger with a decent amount of cargo space, this could be, either of them could be an SUV for you. Okay guys, so let's talk about trunk space on both of these vehicles. Now, both being SUVs, they can obviously hold a decent bit. We're gonna start with the Rogue here. So in the back, you're gonna be able to fit a lot of good things. You can fit a couple hockey bags, some groceries, a big Costco run, stuff to the beach, whatever you would like. Now, both of the seats in the back row are gonna fold down a 60-40 split on both the RAV and the Rogue. So you can actually fit a lot more stuff into the trunk. However, if we're gonna be comparing both side by side, looking at the Rogue versus the RAV, you will notice the RAV does have quite a bit more space. So if you do need that for anything that you're going out about for, a vacation, staycation, whatever you're doing, if you're comparing both of them, the RAV is gonna have a little bit more. Now, one thing I also do like on the RAV4 versus the Rogue is going to be, you actually have a light here that's gonna show you what's exactly in your trunk, which is only illuminated once your actual hatch is open on the vehicle. Once you're sitting in the vehicle, there is a light up here on the Rogue, which is also a very convenient feature, but I'm going to be liking the fact that you can see fully into the trunk while it is open on the RAV4. All right, so one big difference versus the RAV4 and the Rogue is going to be getting into the vehicle. So if you're a rear passenger, for example, getting into the RAV, I'm gonna open up the door and the door is gonna open up fully there. It will not go anymore. Now, it's enough space to happily get in there. You're not gonna be climbing in there hoping that the door opens up anymore. However, if you're comparing this versus the Rogue, Rogues are very known for this. They will open at a full 90 degrees. So doesn't matter the size, if you need more space to get into the vehicle, whatever you need, the Rogue having the option for the door to open up this wide is definitely gonna be making it a lot easier getting passengers in and out of the vehicle. Okay, so taking a look on the inside of a 2024 Rogue. Now, versus the RAV, these packages are very similar. Both will come with cloth seats, both will come with heated seats, a heated steering wheel, power trunk, sunroof, but on the Rogue, it's a little bit better. You're gonna have a dual zone full panoramic sunroof here versus the RAV, which is only one sunroof. Now, having a sunroof in general is very nice, but I actually do like any vehicle that extends the sunroof into the second row. That being said, it's gonna basically open up the vehicle and make it feel a little bit larger than it actually is, which is a really good feature in my opinion. Now, looking at the dashboard on both this and the RAV. Obviously, I'm in a RAV4 a lot more than a Nissan Rogue. However, sitting in here, it's a very, very comfortable car. I can't say anything bad against Nissan. The one thing I actually really do like about this vehicle, it has a flat bottom steering wheel. And because I am a taller guy, I sit at about 6'2", sitting in a vehicle that doesn't have the wheel arch a bit further down into my legs, I actually do like. With that, I also like how it does have paddle shifters on the steering wheel as well. Something super, super small. If you want to throw the vehicle into like a manual shift mode, you can, kind of going in between gears. Now, features wise, they are very, very similar. Dual zone climate control, automatic AC, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It does have a lot of similarities between the two of them. I will say that obviously safety sense feature wise, they are very, very identical there. There's not a whole lot that this has that the RAV doesn't have. But what I will say, looking at the infotainment system, I will take Toyota's backup camera over this one. It just looks a little bit more dated than Toyota's. They just refreshed that in 2023. However, both of the cars are laid out very, very nice. I really can't say anything bad about the Nissan Rogue, but now I'm gonna take a peek at the RAV and see what the differences are compared to this one. Okay guys, now onto the inside of a 2024 RAV4. So one big difference that I notice automatically is the sunroof. Obviously, I'm in a RAV4 way more than the Rogue, but even just being that Rogue for the last little bit, I would love if this vehicle was offered in a way that you could get a sunroof that extends into the second row just to open up the inside. Now, layout of the vehicle is very, very similar. I feel like Toyota has done a very, very good job at kind of keeping things very, very simple, just like the Rogue did as well. One thing that I wish the RAV had that the Rogue does have is the flat bottom steering wheel. I love that feature in any vehicle, just for a taller guy and comfort wise. But the one thing I will say that I do like, and there is a bit more of in the RAV, is going to be some storage space. So as you can see on the passenger side, this little strip here, the Rogue does not have that. Onto the left-hand side of the steering wheel, I have a little area that I could put maybe a bit of a phone or some change or a wallet, something like that. So just kind of gives a little bit more storage into the inside of the vehicle, which I do like. Now, talking screens, the Rogue and Nissan in general have been using that screen for a little bit of time. This is a newer screen for Toyota. Now, it's a more adaptive screen. It's definitely a bit newer. It's more responsive than the screen on the Rogue. However, that's just one little thing. Both of them will still come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So depending on obviously what you're using your vehicle for, you could definitely kind of cater which vehicle kind of suits your needs a little bit better than the other. Now, with that being said, we're gonna jump into the back seat, leave the seats in the front the way that they are, so you can kind of see exactly how much space I have to use in the rear. Okay guys, now taking a step onto the inside and the rear seat of the 2024 Nissan Rogue. I left a seat where I was driving the vehicle, and I actually feel very, very comfortable back here. I've got enough leg room. Again, I'm 6'2", so I am a taller person, but I am more than fine to sit in the back here. I will say, already looking up, I'm going to like this one better in the rear than the RAV. I just love the fact that I can look up. It just opens up the back, doesn't feel as crammed. But if you are a passenger back here, you can pull down the center console here, a couple cup holders in the middle, a cup holder on each door, which is very, very nice. You've got 2 USB-C or lightning charging ports there as well. So if you're gonna be charging any devices, cameras, laptops, phones, whatever you are using on a nice long road trip, very, very easy back here. And honestly, it's very, very comfortable. I have no complaints. I do definitely love the fact that getting into the car, the door opens up way wider than a RAV. That's something that I've actually really never noticed until I had both of these vehicles sitting side by side, but it makes such a huge difference just getting in and out of the vehicle, or even a bigger difference if you actually have stuff in your hand or you're just putting stuff in the vehicle before you jump in. So we're gonna compare this now, getting into the Rogue versus the RAV, and we're gonna see which one I'm gonna like better. Okay guys, now taking a look into the second row of the RAV4. So I left the seat exactly where I was while I was driving the vehicle. I still have quite a lot of space. I got enough headroom here that I don't feel crammed. However, I will say with the panoramic sunroof in the Rogue, I'm gonna actually take the Rogue over the RAV if I'm gonna be sitting in the second row. I just like how it opens up the inside a lot more, and you definitely don't feel as squished. With that being said though, both of the vehicles are very, very similar. Cloth interior, especially in the second row, it's they share a lot of very similar things. So pull down the armrest in the middle, 2 cup holders, a cup holder in each of the doors. You're gonna still have 2 charging ports, which is very, very nice. Now, the one thing that I actually will say, especially if you have people in the back of the vehicle, is that going to be, with every Toyota that we sell brand new, you are going to be getting a set of winter and summer mats. However, on the RAV4 for the winter mats, you actually have a rubber insert that comes over the center of the vehicle. So if you were sitting in the middle and putting your feet down, you're not going to stain the carpets, nothing like that. So I did notice on the Rogue, it didn't have that feature. Obviously you can get a WeatherTech mat to obviously solve that for you, but I do like how Toyota has kind of given that to you right off the bat, so you're not worried about staining up the carpet in the second row. So one last thing between the Rogue and the RAV4. In our previous video that we just posted between the RAV4 and the Corolla Cross, the ground clearance was a comment that we had, and I want to definitely get that sorted out for these two vehicles. Now, they're both very, very similar. The RAV actually has a little bit more. It's about 0.2 inches higher up than the Rogue. So obviously, depending on your age, if you need a lower vehicle, higher vehicle, this vehicle is very, very simple to basically just shuffle right into. So you don't have to take a big step into it. You're not also taking any steps down into it, getting it kind of nice and low, which does make it very, very easy to get in and out of. Now, price point is where the two definitely are going to be a bit different. The RAV4 is going to be coming in at $36,850. That's MSRP for 2024 versus the Rogue at $37,398. That is also MSRP. You have to add your freight and PDI, taxes, dealer charges, and your licensing fee on top of that. However, if you do want to see any more of these videos, please make sure to like and subscribe so you do not miss any more future Toyota related content or comparison videos. With that being said, we want to say a big thank you to Grant Thompson, the GM down at Parkway Nissan of Stony Creek. He is the one who lent us this Rogue, which is also our sister store. So if you're in the need for a new Nissan, please head down there. You can go down, they have these in stock, you can get them right away. So they will definitely help you out, and we will see you guys in the next video.